The new update to iRacing has just dropped and it's got a bunch of new content, especially if you like hairpins or you like turning left, or especially if you like freedom. I'll be going through the updates to this build and I'll be trying them out. I'll do a couple of laps in the new content and I'll let you know how it is. Let's do it. So the last build was pretty massive with rain being released to iRacing, so this update is a little bit smaller for starters. There is some new content, but most of the changes are kind of modifications, especially to the rain side of things. I'll go through all these changes first, and at the end of the video, we'll try out the new content and see how it drives. So for starters, with the rain tires have been added to a bunch of new cars, so you can now race them in the rain. We have the two new cars, we have the GT4s, the LMP3, the MX-5 and the Porsche Cup car. Apparently the spray in the rain has been lowered a little bit, so it should be easier to see if you've been struggling seeing in the rain. Another change is that the new damage model has been added to every new car now, or every car in iRacing, so it's now been renamed just the damage model. It's no longer new, it's on every car, so that's good news. There's been an update to the NASCAR truck. It's been redone with real world data, so it's a little bit different. I've found it's a little bit more slippery than it was before, so you want to go test it out. And there's also been an update to the Porsche Cup car, as well as running in the wet. The tire model's been completely redone, and like all of the geometry and the dynamics have been really changed. So you'll want to try that. It drives quite differently, and I think it's fun so far. There's also released in this build 2 new shells for the street stock. You get 2 shells for the price of 1, but it's just like a different body on the existing street stock car. You don't need to buy this, like you can just use your free street stock that comes with the game. It is pretty cute that iRacing is creating different versions for people who want it, but it's not really worth the money just for like a cosmetic thing, unless you're like a street stock weapon and you're driving it all the time. There is a new oval track this build, Oswego. It is like a short oval. It actually looks really fun for like late models and stuff. There are 2 layouts and there is also a dirt oval that will be coming very soon. So outside those changes, we have some new content this build, 2 new tracks and 2 new cars. And the first car is a new front-engined big boy from the land of the free, America. It is the Ford Mustang GT3, and it's honestly, it looks really good and it sounds even better. The track I'll be trying it out is Circuit de Navarra. It's a Spanish track and it's really technical, and best of all, it's free. So if you have an iRacing subscription, you can access this, you don't have to pay for it. Let's go do a lap in it. So I'm starting a lap at Circuit de Navarra in Spain. It is the new free track this build, and I'm in the Ford Mustang GT3, and the first thing you'll notice is that this car sounds awesome. Second thing you'll notice is that the first couple of corners are pretty much identical to Portimao or Algarve Circuit, so if you like that track, you'll probably like this first sector. The only difference is this left-hander goes downhill, which is different. This next left-hander is probably the most interesting corner on the track. It's like a kind of semi-high speed left that goes into a curved braking zone. So try and get it back to this curb. I kind of turned in too early, but we exit as straight as possible, stick to the right, into a hairpin. This track also has 3D curbs, so it's trying to like rattle my rig to pieces, but yeah, basically if you like hairpins, you're gonna like this track, because the next sector is basically just hairpins. This right-hander has got a curved acceleration zone, which is kind of vaguely interesting, so I almost die. And then we go into another hairpin. It's not the most interesting track in the world, but it's fine. That left hand is kind of slightly more open than the other ones, but this one is another hairpin. And then we have a high-speed left-hander into another hairpin. I will say this car is very cool though. It sounds awesome. It's got a gear indicator that looks like the Ford logo, and yeah, I don't know if it's going to be meta in GT3, but I think a lot of people will run it just because it's like, it sounds so good, and that's half the cool thing in driving a GT3 car. So yeah, good luck driving this car, this build, and this track if you drive it. The next car I'll try is the Corvette GT3. This one's also very American, but it is mid-engine, so it turns a little better, and it sounds good, but not as good as the Ford Mustang. But the track we'll be trying it out is a German track called Sachsenring. This is in Germany. It hosts the German MotoGP, which is probably what it's most famous for. I really like the track. I think it's really good. Let's do a lap. So I'm starting a lap at Sachsenring in the new Corvette GT3 car, and this track is actually really good. It hosts the German Motor Grand Prix, and it's fantastic, especially if you like left-hand corners. So this first section is the tight and twisty bit. You start going downhill with this blind right-hander, and this left-hander which tightens at the very end into the slowest corner on the track. This right-hander, which has like a double apex, goes on for kind of too long, honestly. You can definitely tell this is a bike track. There's no like chicanes or anything. It's definitely like lots of flowing long corners. And this is the part of the track where you start turning left consistently. Just constant left-hand corners. So you really got to look after your right-hand side tires. This next section is the best on the track though. We go through a high-speed one, and then we go to the top of the hill. This first one, you want to enter middle of the track because we prioritize this second apex up here. And then we're flat out. Probably could have gone faster there through this right-hand corner, which is like the waterfall. And we go down the hill. This car is really good. I was expecting this Corvette to be a little bit like, I don't know, a little bit understeery and more like the Ford Mustang, but it actually rotates really nicely. And the sound is nice, but it's not as good as the Mustang. It's still okay, but it's not throaty enough. But yeah, that's a lap of Sachsenring in the Corvette. This is a very American build, but yeah, hope you enjoy racing the track. So that's the build for this season. A couple of tweaks and things and some new content. I'll be honest, it's not the biggest build in the world, but I can kind of cut iRacing some slack. I think the last update with rain was huge and massive and changed the whole game. And this one's a little bit more chill, but a lot of little tweaks under the surface. Will you be playing the new content? Let us know in the comments if you have and if you like it, or if you're gonna give it a miss and not buy it. Otherwise, if you like the video, you can leave a like and you can subscribe to overtake more sim racing videos. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.